طلاب، أنا دكتورة ھالة، واليوم راح نبدأ المحاضرة الأولى بسلسلة محاضرات مادة الرواية للصف الرابع قسم اللغة الإنجليزية. محاضرتنا هي Introduction to the Modern Novel. إذا تتذكرون طلاب، بصف الثالث قرينا Victorian Novel، وبصف الرابع راح نقرأ المودرن نوفل، وتركيزنا راح يكون على الأدب الأمريكي. قسمت أني المودرن نوفل phases أو مراحل المودرن نوفل أو modernism into three phases. Before the 1920s, between the two world wars، والمرحلة الثالثة post world war II. وبهذا الفيديو راح ندرس عن before 1920s period. So this period is dominated by two figures, Henry James and Joseph Conrad. They made a significant impact on the world of literature since they were known for creating intricate character portrayals, particularly in exploring the lives of individuals who faced moral dilemmas. So Henry James was known for his psychological realism and his exploration of consciousness. His novels often delved into the inner lives of his characters, particularly focusing on the conflict between American and European cultures, social conventions, and the individual's moral and psychological development. While Joseph Conrad brought a different but equally compelling focus to literature, his work often explored the themes of colonialism and the dark sides of human nature. Um, this period also suggests an introduction of new techniques in modern literature, inspired by fields such as anthropology, psychology, physics, and psychoanalysis. During this time, the emergence of Darwinian, Freudian, and Einsteinian theories had a significant impact. So the theory of Darwin, the theory of Freud, and the theory of Einstein affect the public and affect writing literature, specifically novel. So the theory of Darwin challenged traditional views of human nature and society. Writers began to explore themes of survival, adaptation, and the often brutal reality of life. Also, with the psychoanalysis, Freudian theory, the unconscious mind, the repression, the significance of dreams, all are introduced to literature and also introduce new ways of understanding human behavior. This led to the development of stream of consciousness, which is going to be later used by so many famous writers in the between the two world wars period. In the theory of Einstein, there is a kind of a question of space, time, the philosophical, the implication of personal life, resonated also in literature. The idea that reality could be perceived differently depending on one's perspective of life, religion, and politics. Everything was kind of different because of these theories. Also, early modernist writers began to disrupt the traditional relationship between between the artist and the public. So during this time, early modernist writers disrupted the agreement between artists and the public, which assumed that artists were reliable interpreters and representative of mainstream culture and ideas, which means that previously there was an implicit agreement that artists were reliable representatives of mainstream culture and ideas. However, as new scientific and intellectual theories called into question the certainty of knowledge and truth, modernist writers embraced a more skeptical and experimental approach. These writers rejected the notion of the artist as a stable, authoritative figure. Instead, they often portrayed artists as alienated individuals. So, the impact of these changes was profound. They achieved this by creating unreliable narrators and uncovering the irrationality that existed at the core of a supposedly rational world. This was especially true for writers who wrote after World War I and experienced the disillusionment that followed. So, modernist literature became characterized by its form, its focus on the inner life and psychological depth of characters, and its uh, challenge to conventional narrative and representations of reality. The unreliable narrators um, challenge traditional narratives through the use of unreliable uh, characters in their writings. The narrators whose credibility is compromised or intentionally questioned became a powerful tool for exploring the complexities and ambiguities of human perception and memory. So the alongside with this unreliable narrator, modernist writers explored the irrational focus that lay beneath the facade of a rational world, influenced by all these theorists, which emphasize the role of the unconsciousness. Modernist or modern writers perceive the destruction of war, the trauma. They underscore the fragility of civilization and the disillusionment of the the happiness of life because of war at that time. In the wake of the war devastation, this shift marked a significant departure from previous literary tradition and laid the groundwork for the continued evolution of modernist literature. وبهذا نكون كملنا the first phase, which is before 1920s period of the modern novel.